Peter, you've recently joined FBC Manby Bowdler, and you guys are the authority on the Brexit. Can you just start by giving us a brief history of why we should listen to you regarding Brexit?
Well, ever since 2012, when I realised a referendum was very likely to take place, I was then Europe Director of BSkyB. Before that, I was Europe Director of the Conservative Party. I basically lived and breathed it. I'm a solicitor specialising in European law. And then I was stupid enough to invent the word Brexit. And then where do you go from there?
So it's all your fault. You've obviously got your book as well.
Yeah, I wrote a book a couple of years ago called What Next? Britain's Future in Europe. And this is critically important for manufacturers because the end result was, whilst Britain might leave the political structures of the European Union, in order to create manufacturers prosperous and growing, we had to stay in the single market and the customs union.
As a business, MTD, we visit hundreds or even thousands of engineering companies a year, and we're getting a lot of people asking us, what should they be doing? You know, is their business at threat? And I wonder if this a little boot camp maybe, what should they be doing at this early stage? Well, not early stage at all.
Well, indeed, three things. We've got to inform, we've got to prepare, and we've got to influence. And what I mean by that is information. A lot of companies quite rightly have said, look, let's just get on with it. We need to be informed, we need to predict what's going to happen, and the government has not assisted businesses in that. And so what we need to do is go to businesses and say, look, this is the way Brexit could assist or indeed impede your business. So number one, we can do that. What we've got is a legal audit where we go to businesses and we go through a checklist and we find out exactly the things that are critical for business. When we've done that, second word, prepare. What we can do is we can inform businesses and say, right, okay, your contracts might need to be revised. What's about data protection? What about VAT? We can go through all of these issues. And the third thing is influence. And what I mean by that is government need to hear from businesses. But more than just hear, they need to basically be persuaded to act in a way. Because you can easily complain to government, but what government is looking for is guidance, and what we can do is help that too. So in short, inform, prepare, influence.
That's great for large companies. But how about if I'm an SME turning over £3, £4, £5 million? Obviously, they haven't got lots of money to invest in things that may never happen. So what would you do?
Well, the same thing. It's all about information, first of all. I mean, look, I'm on the end of a telephone. So it's not difficult for somebody to pick up the phone to me, and I'm very happy to advise businesses for free at this early stage, just to go through this audit as to whether they will be affected or not. And if they're not, great. The problem is no businesses know whether they need major surgery or a sticking plaster. And I'm a phone call away just to make sure that that business can get comfort. And if there is a problem, then we can take it forward for them.
So in the event of no deal, which that's where we are currently, what do you think will happen? There's talk of going into a similar agreement with Norway and things like that?
Yes. I don't think that no deal won't happen. I think, comfort for your viewers, I think the Parliament on Monday will take control of the process to avoid that eventuality happening on March the 29th. Secondly, we could have an extension of the Article 50 period, and I think that will be done in order to make sure that Britain, if it does come out of the European Union, stays in the single market. I think that's critical for your businesses who are buying from and selling to Europe. And so that would be the first thing that would arise from this process. So your viewers should be watching this space as to this happening next week. Of course, the second thing for businesses is customs. And manufacturers certainly don't want to be in a situation having to pay tariffs on imports. And of course, the problem with tariffs is not just the money, it's the delay and the just-in-time delivery. So that's a number two thing, the single market, that we've got to deal with. So I think your viewers should, look at it next week, see where the land is lying, be informed of where the direction is going. If the direction is not going in the way that each and individual business wants, prepare. That's a phone call. And then if the preparation needs to go into influencing, we then go and talk to government.
Sure. Okay. So presumably we need to start talking to suppliers, customers as well, get contracts put in place. You don't want to be paying tariffs on things. There's no, you just don't, do you? You
don't. And that's why businesses, it really boils down to the fact, you guys are selling stuff, you're making stuff, you're importing stuff. You just don't want any bandwidth here to deal with political problems. And so, nor do you want to ring up somebody who says, well, you could do this, you could do that, you could do the other. That's no help to anybody. So, what I'd suggest for you guys is just, if you're thinking about this, this is still a niggle for you, get on the blower to me here at FBC, and then we'll take you forward through the route. Because it's not over yet. Everything's up for grabs after the biggest parliamentary defeat for a government in history. And, good people have got to step up right now. And, I, as former media director of the Conservative Party, I know that a lot of ministers, a lot of MPs have got business at the heart. They know, the country can't prosper without successful businesses. So we've got to hit the ground running from next week onwards. And if you're concerned about these things, then give us a call and we'll take you forward.
There we are. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
So if you need some advice, speak to Mr. Brexit from FBC Manby Bowdler.